Hello and welcome to this week's video email. I hope these first few days of the new year have treated you gently, and that if you're experiencing the same cold snap we are, you're keeping warm and cosy. I was talking this week with a colleague, a primary head teacher, who has used a number of our resources over the past few years and who has recommended them to her staff, peers and parents. She said something that initially took me by surprise, and I found myself asking her to explain a little more. She said that in our Diversitybuds work, we're quietly promoting systemic change within every resource we produce, and that, in doing so, we're gently redesigning the default picture children hold of who music is for. In other words, she felt that we're quietly changing the norms children grow up with. I asked her to explain a bit more what she meant. She went on to say that most music education resources, even very well-meaning ones, still tend to favour white, Eurocentric and often adult-led examples of musical experience. When diverse examples are included, they're often added on afterwards, rather than woven into the fabric of what music looks like. The result is that the system itself remains unchanged, and children are left absorbing a very narrow picture of what music might be and who it might belong to. Structurally, there's little representational balance built into what they see. She explained that in Diversitybuds resources, the musical examples are much more evenly shared between musicians of different skin colours, ages, abilities, styles and lived experiences, and that this is what makes them so valuable to her teachers and children. There's no spotlight, no special week, no separation. It's simply a quiet statement of what music looks like here. And, she said, this is how norms are rewritten. It's how children grow up understanding that they can be part of the musical landscape too, that the music they hear at home belongs in school and in wider society, and that it has an equally valid place in the everyday musical fabric of their lives. To be completely honest, I'd never quite thought about it like that before. I've simply been trying to create the sort of resources I wish I had had access to when I was at the musical chalk face. But her words immediately took me back to the emails I wrote to you just before Christmas about the curriculum and assessment review, and about how this moment invites us to quietly but confidently advocate for high quality music teaching through our everyday practice. Because diversity work shouldn't live at the edges of systems. It needs to be woven into the everyday fabric of education. We change what children come to understand as normal, and in doing so, we change what they believe is possible for themselves and for others. This is actually bigger than music. It's about belonging. It's about identity. It's about who feels seen. And funnily enough, it turns out that's exactly what we've been doing here at Diversitybuds. Our work isn't small or extra, and it doesn't sit at the edges. It's already helping to shape what normal musical experience looks like for a whole generation of children. And that's how futures change. I suspect that you are also embedding this kind of quality, also perhaps without even realising it. Maybe this is the week to begin noticing it more consciously. Many thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.